All right. Good morning. Gosh, it looks so much sunnier here than it does actually outside right now in Atlanta. It's rainy. It's a slow Sunday morning. So I hope that you guys are have your cup of coffee and you're ready to learn about what's happening in the Atlanta real estate market. Good morning. If you will, as you're coming on, pop in the chat box where you're watching from. And if it's from inside of Metro Atlanta, then I'm happy to tell you what's going on in your area. And if you've got any specific questions, let me know that as well. And we are going to get started in just a second. Okay. All right. So there are going to be a few things that I'm going to go ahead and start covering today. We've got about an hour together. And the first thing we're going to cover is the top 5 areas where people are moving to in 2025. This is straight from statistics, from my experience, and there are clear areas where people are moving to. So I want you guys to know about that. Second thing that we're going to cover is going to be where people are retiring to. In the Metro Atlanta area, there are some really beneficial areas for property taxes and lifestyle that people are moving to. So I'm going to share with you guys what those are as well. And then we are going to wrap up with why sellers aren't happy right now. You would think in a market that we're in that sellers would be really happy making top dollar. But in fact, this year I've seen more unhappy sellers than I've seen since COVID. So we're going to talk about what I'm seeing there, why that is, and then we'll wrap up with questions. But listen, this is all about what you guys want to talk about, what you want to learn about. So at any time, don't be afraid to pop a question in the chat box. And again, let me know where you're where you're watching from. So should we get Miami? Oh, awesome. Laura, I'm gonna assume that your last name is not Miami, that you're watching from Miami. So welcome. Thanks for commenting there. We have a lot of Florida people. So, all right. So let's get started. Okay. So where to move to in Metro Atlanta in 2025? There are 5 areas that are just going gangbusters right now. And it's really crazy. It's really a tale of 2 markets right now in Metro Atlanta. You got some areas where populations are declining, where sales are down. And then you've got some areas where populations are booming and sales have increased year over year by double digits. So the first area that I want to talk about is Johns Creek. And if you've watched any of my videos, you've actually seen me talk about all 5 of these areas. But Johns Creek would be my number 1 area where people are moving to in 2025. And there are a few reasons why. So first of all, the location in Johns Creek is still really conducive to getting into the city of Atlanta if you're commuting down there. And most people aren't commuting 5 days a week. Oh yeah, hang on. Maria is asking if we can activate closed captioning. Can you do that? Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Maria. That's a great idea. Okay. So Johns Creek. So why are people moving to Johns Creek? First of all, location. You're still within a commuting distance to Atlanta. And you're really close to the tech hub in Alpharetta if that's where you're working. And most people are only commuting in a few days a week anyway. So it makes for a decent commute. The second reason are the schools in Johns Creek. So if you're moving into Georgia and you've got kids and you want to go public schools and you need to commute to Atlanta, then really all of these areas I'm talking about are areas you're going to want to focus on. But that is why Johns Creek is so popular, because it's got one of the top 10, actually it's got 2 of the top 10 high schools in the state. That's going to be Johns Creek High School and Northview High School are in Johns Creek. So that's the second reason schools there. Also the lifestyle. So Johns Creek has more green space. They've done such a great job when they planned this city in putting parks all throughout the city. So you've got some great green space and a big attention to getting outdoors and recreation in Johns Creek. And I think that's another reason why people love it so much. You drive through and there are some pretty clogged arteries in Johns Creek. You've got some really big intersections that run through it. So traffic can actually be really congested. That's my negative with Johns Creek. I don't love about it. But my goodness, you can't go more than a few miles before you hit a park. So if you love that, that's why you might also love Johns Creek. Second area, and actually, let me talk to you about sales prices in Johns Creek. So right now, the median sales price in Johns Creek is in the 900s. That is up double digits from this time last year. And again, this is a year where some areas are sliding back in prices because inventory has increased so much. Johns Creek still has enough demand that prices are going up a good bit. All right, so second area, and again, as you're hopping on, put in the chat box where you're watching from. And as we're going through, this is all about you guys. This is not about me. So let me know what questions you guys have. It could be about this topic or anything else. So second area is Cumming, Georgia. So Cumming also is known for a lot of things that Johns Creek is known for, but it is further out. So if you're moving to Cumming, you are sacrificing your commute to get into really great public schools. Your taxes are going to be a little bit lower, and you're going to live closer to Lake Lanier. So that is why Cumming is so popular right now, especially the South Forsyth area. So Cumming is in Forsyth County. The southern area of Forsyth County is really, really popular right now. You've got lower property taxes once you cross over that Fulton County line into Forsyth County. You've got incredible schools. Two of the top are South Forsyth High School and Lambert High School. So again, if public schools are important, South Forsyth should probably be on your radar. And then you've got the lifestyle that living close to Lake Lanier has for you. And you're going to save money. You're going to get more for your money in Cumming. And Suwanee is right next to it. We're going to talk about it next. But in Cumming, the median sales price right now is in the 600s. So if you just go about 20 minutes further north of Johns Creek, you can get the same house for considerably less. So that might be something you strategically think about if you're thinking about moving to the Atlanta area. All right, third area on the list is Suwanee. So Suwanee is next to Cumming. It straddles Gwinnett County and Forsyth County, and it also touches Lake Lanier. So we've got some similarities there. You get just about as much for your money as you do in Cumming. You got really good schools. Lambert is actually in Suwanee. It crosses that Suwanee-Cumming line. And again, you've got access to Lake Lanier, and you've got more parks in Suwanee than you do in Cumming. Two things that people really love about actually that Suwanee-Cumming area, I'm just going to combine them for now, are the downtown areas. So Cumming has a city center. This opened about 3 years ago. There is an amphitheater there where they have live music, free live music on the weekends and during the summer. You've got great locally owned businesses. You've got great locally owned restaurants, and you've got some good shopping to do there as well. But you also have downtown Cumming, like the old town of Cumming as well. Suwanee has the same thing. So Suwanee has a town center where you've got a big green space where they do concerts. You've got locally owned businesses. You've got great restaurants, good shopping, and you actually have access to trails in Suwanee from the town center. So you can take the elevated boardwalk, walk all along the greenway in Suwanee. Again, I think Johns Creek and Suwanee are tied for outdoor amenities. So if you love to be outside, if you love to go hiking, then Johns Creek and Suwanee should probably be tops on your list. All right, fourth area that we're looking at, the top 5 areas, is going to be Alpharetta, Georgia. Now, this is, again, their sales are double digits. Their sales price is going up as well, faster than many other areas in Metro Atlanta. And Alpharetta has, if you're wanting to move to an area that has a ton to do, like lots of shopping, lots of restaurants, you love to be outside, and you want to be even closer to the city than the other areas we've talked about, then Alpharetta is an area that needs to be on your list. It's on a lot of people's list. So Alpharetta has, first of all, great schools. So you're not going to sacrifice schools to live closer to the city when you live in Alpharetta. You've got Alpharetta High School and Cambridge High School, which are, again, all of the schools we're talking about are in the top 10 to 15 in the entire state. and they actually rank in the nationally as well. So what I love about Alpharetta, I live right beside it, is you've got three really cool areas in Alpharetta. You've got Avalon, which is a shopping mecca. You've got beautiful stores like Chanel, you've got Sephora, you've got Peter Millar, you've got really kind of high-end stores there mixed in with that mid-range store. You've got outdoor restaurants, you've got a movie theater, a hotel there, and some really high-end living there too. So Avalon is number one. Then you've got downtown Alpharetta. So downtown Alpharetta is a master plan downtown area. It incorporates about, I don't know, maybe 10 acres or so, right in the heart of Alpharetta. And you have got some of the best restaurants and best shopping in all of Metro Atlanta concentrated right there. You also have a green space where they host farmers markets on the weekends. They do outdoor concerts there as well. So that's an amazing area that people love to go to. And coming soon, but not right now, is Alpharetta is completely going to be redeveloping the North Point Mall area. So if you've lived in Metro Atlanta, you know North Point Mall. It has been one of the best malls in our area for the past 25 years. But just like most malls, the developers and the owners are really having to rethink the plan for them. They're just not being, people aren't going to malls like they used to. There's tons of vacant, sorry, that's my dog. There's tons of vacant space just not being used as stores shut down. So North Point Mall is being, sorry guys, it's Sunday morning. I think the Amazon guy is here. So North Point Mall is being completely redeveloped. So it's on about 20 acres. And over the next 10 years, the plan is to redevelop it into more of a spread out live, work, play area. And this is just over the interstate from Avalon. So I think that prices in Alpharetta are going to continue to skyrocket over the next 5, 10, 15 years, because of not only everything that I've just talked about, but that development in particular. So if you're looking for a great investment option as well, then Alpharetta is going to be that's going to be where people are going to want to be. One thing I did forget to mention about Johns Creek, and I can't believe I forgot to mention this because I feel like I talk about it all the time, is Medley in Johns Creek. So Medley, Johns Creek doesn't have its own downtown area, and this is the first area that I talked about on our with you guys this morning. So Medley is going to be Johns Creek's downtown area. It's going to, again, have concert space. It's going to have great shopping, great restaurants, and it's coming in about a year and a half. My clients who are currently looking in Suwanee and Johns Creek, we are purposefully identifying areas that are going to be within just 3 to 5 miles of Medley, because once Medley opens and people really understand what it is, again, values in that area are going to continue to go up, and I think go up by double digits. So again, if you're looking for a great investment place, Johns Creek and Alpharetta are two of my tops. All right, so 5th on the list of the top 5 areas people are moving to in Atlanta in 2025 is East Cobb. And if you look on a map, you're not going to see East Cobb because it's not technically a town. It's in Marietta, but East Cobb is on the east side of Marietta, and it is just northwest of the city of Atlanta. So people love to live in East Cobb because they want a quick commute into the city. You can be in Buckhead in about 30 minutes. You can be in Midtown in about 35 minutes, and that's with traffic. But they also want great schools. So in East Cobb, you've got 3 of the top, which is Walton High School, Pope High School, and Lassiter High School. You also have a STEM certified school, a magnet school, which is Wheeler High School. And then you also have access to the Chattahoochee River, which is one of the most famous rivers in Georgia. But we love our access points. We love to be able to drop a kayak in, drop a stand-up paddleboard in. And in East Cobb, you can do that at multiple points, as well as hiking along the Chattahoochee River as well. Now, East Cobb doesn't have a downtown area. It doesn't have a little historic area. So East Cobb is more strip malls. So if you're looking for that historic downtown fun hub where everybody gathers, East Cobb does not have that. But it is about 15 minutes from downtown Marietta and about 10 minutes from downtown Roswell. So you still get that. But every once in a while, I do get people that drive through East Cobb and they wonder what the big deal is. But the big deal are the schools in the proximity to Atlanta. So anyway, that is what is going on. Those are the top 5 areas that people are moving to in Atlanta. By the way, a home in East Cobb, the median sales price is going to be right in those mid 700s. If you want something completely renovated, move-in ready, you're going to be looking in the low 9s moving into East Cobb. Alpharetta, you're going to get a little less for your money. You're going to be looking at about $1 million to get into Alpharetta for something that's completely, well, I wouldn't even say completely, that's updated. So anyway, that is the top 5 places. Now, listen, don't forget, guys, what questions do you have? Please pop them in the comment box, and don't forget to let me know where you're watching from. That I love to see where everybody is right now. All right, perfect. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go on to the second topic that we had today, and that is where people are retiring to. If you're someone who is close to retirement age and you have those questions about you think you want to move to Georgia, but you're not sure where the best places to go, pop it in the chat box. I'd love to just see you raise your hand just to see if we have any retirees or upcoming retirees on the video today. But I get this question a lot. I get it enough that I thought I would bring it to you guys today. And those are the top areas where people are retiring. So when people first call me about retiring in Metro Atlanta and wondering where they should go, the first thing I really think about is 2 things. Number one, what do you need to be close to? Do you need to be close to grandkids? And then number 2, property taxes. So there are places in Georgia that have incredible property tax advantages to retirees. And so when I say retirees, I'm really talking about people who are at least 62 years of age or older. And I don't know a lot of areas in the country where you can get the same benefits as you can living here in Georgia. Okay, so I guess first, before we hop into this is perfect, Laurie. Hey, John and Linda. You guys are almost my retirees. Yes, living in Roswell. You guys can chime in about retiring in Roswell too. I'm so glad you guys are watching. All right, so Lori, let me answer a couple of your questions first. So first of all, Decatur. I'm not sure what you mean by Decatur. Decatur I've got buyers moving into Decatur. Decatur is a great area. I think Decatur is actually probably a better investment right now than it's ever been because sales are down so much in Decatur. And the reason why sales are down in Decatur right now are because of the tariffs. Decatur is one of the only areas that I saw that was directly affected by the tariffs and by the government downsizing that was happening with Doge. And that is because the CDC is in Decatur, or it's actually technically in Atlanta, but so many of the workers of the CDC live in Decatur. And so you saw a sharp decline in the number of sales in Decatur, which also meant that prices started going down in Decatur because the sales were going down. Inventory was creeping up as it normally does in the spring. So there is a window of opportunity in Decatur where I think you can actually negotiate a better deal than you've ever been able to negotiate. So I will say that about Decatur. Why is Brookhaven so expensive? Location. It's close to the city. It's just north of Buckhead. You've got city of Brookhaven taxes and you've got DeKalb County taxes. It's just an expensive place to live. I mean, you've got some absolutely gorgeous homes there. I was just showing in Capital City Club this week where I think the average sales price is probably $2.5 million. You can get a condo just depending on what your price point is. But yeah, it's just because of the location and the historic value of it. All right. Okay, got it. All right, got it. Yeah, we do have a lot of HOAs in all throughout the areas that we just talked about, there are HOAs all throughout those areas. And some people really like living in an HOA. I personally like living in an HOA because it's going to keep the neighborhood a bit consistent. There are some rules in place, but not rules that are so strict that they tell you the length of your grass, what it needs to be, things like that. All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to hit the places to retire in Atlanta. So first of all, let's talk about locations, and then let's talk about what you can get. So the top locations that people are retiring to in Metro Atlanta are, number one, going to be Cobb County. And we're going to stay county focused because that's where you get the property tax benefits. But Cobb County is number one. And the people that are moving to Cobb County to retire, a lot of them are coming from Fulton County. So the city of Atlanta or Sandy Springs, they're crossing over into Cobb County so they can get that property tax break that they are not going to get in Fulton County. So let's talk about Cobb County property tax breaks for a second. So when you hit that 62 years of age in Cobb County, the 75% approximately of the school tax is going to be taken off of your property tax bill. That's going to reduce your property tax bill tremendously. This will save you thousands of dollars every year. And that's why sometimes it blows my mind that when people still choose to retire in Fulton County, because they could save so much money by just crossing over the line. But anyway, so Cobb County, when you turn 62, you don't have to have lived in Cobb County a certain amount of time, but you can take advantage of those property tax decreases immediately. Another great thing about Cobb County is that it still keeps you close to the city, and there's so much to do in Cobb County. Again, you got the Chattahoochee River. You're decently close to the airport. You're only about 45 minutes to an hour from the airport, so you can fly anywhere you want to from it. It's just a great central location to be. All right, the second place that people are retiring that I'm noticing a big draw to is Forsyth County. So Forsyth County is, we talked about Cumming a few minutes ago in Suwanee. So Forsyth County is north of Fulton County. Again, so if you're living in North Fulton County in Alpharetta or Milton or any of those areas, you can literally just cross over the county line and you can begin to immediately save thousands of dollars on your property tax bill every year. So you also get more for your money, and there's a higher concentration of a certain type of home that you might want to live in, which we're going to talk about in just a second, in Forsyth County and actually in Cobb County as well. The third place that I'm seeing people retire to if they're staying in the Metro Atlanta area is Cherokee County. Now, this could change though. So Cherokee County, again, has got that property tax break, and it's a big one. It's 100% of the school tax amount is going to be taken off your property tax bill. However, a new rule is in place in Cherokee County. And that new rule is you have to have owned a home in Cherokee County for 5 years before you get that massive property tax break. It does make me wonder if other counties are going to follow suit. There's a lot of debate about this right now, but I think that we're going to see people pulling back from Cherokee County because of that and focusing more on Cobb County. So those are the three places that you can go. I'm just going to take just a second. And oh, hi, Venkat and Rama. I'm so glad that you guys hopped on. Okay, we were just talking about where you guys are moving and coming a second ago. It's one of the top 5 places people are moving to. Okay, so now what are retirees buying right now? Because the areas that we just talked about have a lot of large family homes. So where are the homes that retirees actually want to live in, which are typically 1-story homes or at least master on the mains with limited yard space? Because listen, let's be honest, you cut grass for the last 20 years. You don't want to keep doing it. And Forsyth and Cobb County and Cherokee County have the highest concentration of a certain type of floor plan that you're going to want. And that's going to be that ranch style floor plan. Now you've got 2 options when you're retiring in these. Well, you've got 3 options, but the top 2 options that retirees are typically looking at right now are 55 plus communities. So there are a lot of these beautiful master planned communities around the areas that we just, especially the North Metro Atlanta area, places like Soleil. That have access to the North Georgia mountains. You've got 55 plus communities on Lake Lanier. You also have 55 plus communities that are sprinkled throughout parts of Cobb and Cherokee and Forsyth County that still give you easy access to shopping and restaurants and churches that you want to be close to. A lot of them are going to be gated, which a lot of my retirees like. They're not going to be filled with swim tennis amenities because, let's be honest, you probably don't want or need or want to pay for that anymore. So that's the first type of product that a lot of my retirees are drawn to. The 55 plus communities, smaller compact homes, smaller lots, smaller home sizes, but they pack a lot. They've got beautiful upgrades in them. You've got great like office spaces within them. And anyway, they're in great locations. Second would be ranches. Now, these are harder to find. Ranches are one-story homes. So we're not talking about inside of 55 plus communities. We're talking about just kind of scattered throughout. They're really hard to find because they're expensive to build, because the lots have to be wide enough. And most builders, beginning about 30 to 40 years ago, decided to start building more vertically so they could pack more homes in neighborhoods. So, it makes sense. But if you're looking for ranch style homes, then you can find those in Cobb and Forsyth and Cherokee counties. You also can find those, probably a higher concentration of those closer to the city though. And they're in such demand. So if you live in a ranch home currently, if you ever see one, pick it up as an investment property, because with all of the baby boomers downsizing and wanting one level living, owning a ranch home and selling a ranch home is going to make you a lot of money one day. All right, so let me just go into the comments real quick. Okay. All right, so we're still, okay, got it. All right, so again, let me know where you're watching from and let me know what questions you have. There's one more thing that I wanted to make sure we talked about today, and this is something that I've been a little surprised about this year, and that is why sellers are not happy right now. And this came from an idea that I was actually talking to another agent friend of mine, and we were talking about how we're meeting with sellers who are, let's be honest, they're making a lot of money on these homes and they're still not happy. So I wanted to share with you guys, and if you're a home seller, if you're a homeowner that's thinking about selling, you might be feeling some of these same feelings, some of these negative emotions mixed with, positive emotions because of what you're going to be able to make on your home. So why are sellers not happy right now when it seems like the market favors them? And the first reason why they're not happy is because they're locked into these 2 and 3% interest rates, and they have been struggling mentally for 2 years now as to whether it's smart to sell a home where you've got such a low interest rate and enter into a situation where your interest rate could be 7%. So that debate has been happening with homeowners now for more than 2 years, and it's still happening. Meanwhile, the people who are listing their homes right now have been living in a situation where it's just not serving them anymore. So they're unhappy with the situation that they're currently in. Maybe their home is too big. Maybe their home is too small. Maybe they need to get their master bedroom on the main level instead of being upstairs. Maybe they need to get their kids into a better school district. So they have some type of negative situation happening, but they're tied to this really amazing interest rate. So it's been a debate in a lot of heads for quite a while of the trade-off. Is it worth upgrading our lifestyle by giving up our low interest rate? So that's the first reason why sellers aren't happy, is that they are having to give up finally that low 2 to 3% interest rate. The second reason why sellers aren't happy right now is they're really frustrated because they're not sure where they're going to go. So if you've been thinking about selling, this is probably what you've been thinking about. It sucks that we're going to get out of this low interest rate that we're in. We know we're going to make a lot of money, but where the heck are we going to go? Because when we trade in, we're going to make a lot of money on our sale, but we're going to go spend it all on the purchase because that seller is going to make a lot of money, right? So that's the second reason why sellers aren't happy right now because, yes, they're making a lot of money, but they're taking all of it and they're going to put it on the next house. So they're going to have it for just a minute and then it's going to be gone again. So I don't know. I'm curious, are any of you guys home sellers right now, or if you've been thinking about selling, and are you feeling those kind of negative emotions? And does this resonate with you? Tell me what you guys are thinking about and feeling right now. I'm going to hop into the comments right now. So John says, seems like we keep voting for property tax cuts for seniors in Fulton County, but it never seems to be implemented. Yeah, Fulton County is not a desirable place for seniors to live. Yeah, I would say so, John. And I think you and I, maybe we're going to be talking about that soon because you guys are so close to the Cobb County line. And crossing over is going to save you a lot of money. Here's the reason why it's probably never going to happen in Fulton County, though. Fulton County is a massive county, and North Fulton County has to pay for South Fulton County. And so I think that's why you'll continue to hear these. It becomes a political platform that people are running on. But the reality of giving property tax breaks to people in Fulton County for, that are seniors or, for there are a couple of other reasons too. I just don't think it's going to come to fruition because I don't see how it ever could. Does that make sense? Fulton is just too big and there's just too much to pay for. And there are so many rentals in Fulton, especially on the south side, that the property owners have to pay for all of the rentals. Let's see. Okay, so Diana's from Inglewood, Florida. Her husband works in Norcross and her daughter has a seat offering in a charter in Cherokee. Where do you suggest will be a better move? Oh, okay. I wonder what you mean by seat offering in charter in Cherokee. Okay, so your husband works in Norcross and your daughter has okay. All right, got it. So okay, so let me think. Norcross, which is on the northeast side of Atlanta, in Cherokee, which is on the northwest side of Atlanta. I feel like right in the middle, you're looking at Roswell could be a great area for you guys to move to. Um, Maybe even East Cobb a little bit as well, depending on where you're at in East Cobb. Maybe North Cobb could be a great area for you. It could be that I'm thinking about the central location that would keep you going to like close to Cherokee and somewhat close to Norcross. And yeah, I would say kind of around that Roswell area right there, Diana. That's a great question. All right. Okay, just looking. Okay, got it. All right. So, what other questions do you guys have, and where are you watching from? What are you guys seeing in the market right now? Mhm. Okay. All right. Hang on for a sec. Oh, sorry. I had to scroll up for a second. All right. King Nick says, I feel you. I'm so glad my place has no HOA. Oh, okay. You guys are talking about, yeah, there's some anti HOA people in the comments right now. I hear you. There's people either love them or they hate them. I totally get that. All right. Okay, hang on. My video guy is looking at me. He's like, okay. Okay. I don't know. All right. Let's see. All right. All right. All right. We have about 20 more minutes. What else do you guys want to talk about? Give me just 1 second. All right. Are there any other areas that you guys are curious about? I love the question about the Norcross to Cherokee County. What other questions are you guys or areas are you guys thinking about? Okay, so Maria, okay, looking to move from the Midwest. How fast are houses selling in East Cobb? Okay, yes. So let me answer that question. And Maria, I'm coming back to you for no HOAs. Okay. All right. So McAdams family. So first of all, welcome. Um, we have a lot of Midwesterners coming out here to the Atlanta area. I wonder what's bringing you guys out. All right. So how fast are houses selling in East Cobb? It depends. Um, when a house lists in East Cobb, it's typically going to list on a Wednesday or a Thursday. And then it should be, if it's priced right, it should be under contract by Monday, which I know sounds absolutely crazy, right? But that's how fast they're moving. And it is school district dependent, but that's what you can expect. So maybe 4 to 7 days. However, 60% of properties are coming on the market overpriced right now. And the buyers know it. You guys are so smart. You've been educating yourself on prices in the market now for as long as you've been thinking about moving. So, you're not going to buy something that's overpriced. So if the property comes on the market and it's overpriced and it's not under contract after that first weekend, then it might stay on the market for 14 to 21 days to 30 days. It just depends on how quickly the seller reacts and reduces the price. So if you see something amazing come on the market, make a move on it quickly. But if you're looking to negotiate, and you're wanting to find a better deal, then go look at those properties that have been on the market for more than a week or two. And that's where you can get some negotiation power. And is East Cobb the only area that you're looking in too? I guess that's the question I have for you. All right, so let's talk about HOA places. So Maria does not want to live in an HOA. And so Maria, if you don't want to live in an HOA, there are so many options for you. And I don't know anything about your situation, like where do you need to commute to or what's important about your location. But I would say there's more places for you to live than not if you don't want to live in an HOA. First of all, you need to live in a detached single family home. If you're living in a condo or a townhome, you're going to have an HOA. So make sure you're looking for single family detached. Going into older communities too. A lot of them won't have HOAs or the covenants have expired. But give me a little bit more information about what is important in terms of location for you. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's see. All right. So Joe in Brookhaven, you've been thinking about selling, but you're stuck at the 2.1% mortgage rate. I have a lot in equity, but don't want to give it out when I buy. Okay. All right. Well, okay. So Joe, there's an option for you. So excuse me, guys. The pollen in Atlanta has been so high this week. Sorry. All right. So you're going to see me like wipe my nose probably a few times during this. All right. So yes, Joe, you're like every seller I meet with. You have an amazing interest rate. Isn't it funny that we say stuck in a 2% interest rate? Like we're not handcuffed to this interest rate, but we do feel it. I completely understand it. So here's something that you could do. Cash out in Brookhaven. You're going to do very well. But then if you don't want to put all that towards your next purchase or pay an elevated price, then move to an area where you can get more for your money, where prices aren't as elevated. I've had one family this year move. They sold their place in East Cobb and they actually moved out. They bought land out in West Cobb. I don't know if that's what you want to do, but they were able to save a lot of money by just going further out. So is that an option that you could take? I guess it just depends on what's important to you about where you live next. And I think too, we can get hung up on the dollars and the interest rate and things like that. But at the end of the day, guys, we've got one life to live. We should love where we live. Didn't COVID teach us that? COVID taught us that we want to absolutely love where we live, the home, the area, the lifestyle that it provides. So I guess the other piece of advice I would have for you is think about what makes you happy first and foremost, and maybe don't worry as much about the amount of money that you're going to have to move from one property to the next to get what you want. Just go get what you want. Great question though, Joe. You're like every seller that I meet with. Okay, so McAdams. Okay, yeah. So you're looking for the best schools, so East Cobb or anywhere with really good schools. Okay, so if you're talking about great public schools and you want to be between Norcross and Cherokee, then you're gonna yes, you're looking at East Cobb. You're also looking. I mean, you've got Walton, Pope, Lasser. I would probably focus on the Lassiter School District because that's going to keep you, that's going to put you in North Cobb and that's going to put you closest to Cherokee County. But Cherokee has great schools too. But that's putting you further away from Norcross. So, yeah, I would really focus on that East Cobb area, specifically the Lassiter High School District, specifically. Okay, let's see. Do you see houses? Okay, so do you see the house prices going down? I've seen a few for sale, which are cutting the prices. Yes, Alexandra, yes, you are spot on. There are more price reductions now than I have seen in years. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about a few minutes ago about how long are East Cobb homes on the market. It just depends on how well you nail your pricing strategy. So, and again, like Joe, if you're selling in Brookhaven, if I was meeting with you about your home in Brookhaven, we would be talking about not what your home is worth, but what is the right pricing strategy that gets the most buyers in the door, that gets you the most offers, that then nets you the highest price. But I think so many sellers instead, understandably, instead think about what's my home worth, and that's what I'm listing it at. The problem is that your home is only worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. We have to think about the mindset of a buyer right now. Buyers are being squeezed everywhere. They've been paying 2 years of high inflation, as we all have. They're fluctuating between 6.5% and 7% mortgage interest rates. So their mortgage payment it's going to be much higher than they thought it was going to be. And now put on top of that, they might have to make up a little bit of their buyer's agent's commission too. They're being very, very choosy about how much they're willing to pay for a property. So I wouldn't say that prices are going down because of it, but sellers, just the smart sellers, pick the right pricing strategy and they're gone within a number of days for the highest price. So that is why you're seeing so many price reductions, because sellers pick the wrong pricing strategy and they have to reset. And they frankly, they've got to do that about every week until they get a buyer. So I don't think that we're going to see overall prices going down, though. There might be a bit of a reset. Instead of prices going up by double digits like they did right after COVID up until about 2023, we're now seeing a more modest pace of home price growth. Anywhere from, on the low end, I'm seeing around 3%. On the high end, like in the top 5 areas we talked about before, we're still seeing, anywhere from 8 to 12% in those areas. Here's what would have to happen for prices to go down. Okay. And I don't mean month over month, I mean like year over year. There would have to be such an influx of inventory coming on the market that the demand, it would have to outweigh the demand. And in most of the areas in metro Atlanta and inside the city limits as well, demand is still higher than the amount of inventory that we have. And so that would have to reset in order for prices to go down. Prices haven't gone down, y'all, since 2012. And really, the only reason why they went down before was because we had such a huge influx of foreclosures into the market between 2008 and 2011. But I am seeing more negotiation power right now. And that's because sellers start too high and they eventually have to reset to where they really should be. So, great question. All right, Ron. Hi, Ron. Good to see you. Well, see you on chat. Please discuss price increases. Will prices keep going up? Okay, so just to piggyback on what I just said, yes, I think we are going to continue to see year over year increases. Now, if you look month over month, I mean, I'm studying the stats month over month. I'm seeing this constantly in the stats: prices going up, prices going down. However, year over year, yes, we are going to continue to probably see prices continue to go up. And that is again because the inventory that we have is still not enough to match the demand that we have from people moving into and around Metro Atlanta. But will it slow down in areas? Yeah, I think it will slow down. It definitely slowed down the first quarter of this year because of the tariff talks. It put buyers on the sidelines in a time of year where inventory naturally increases. That was tough. And because of that, for the buyers who were brave enough to come out and make offers and go under contract, they actually were getting better deals than some of the buyers are now. So I think that, I guess I've been in the business for 26 years, and the best deals that I've seen people get happen when other buyers are afraid to buy. It's just like the stock market, right? When the stock market's down, it takes bravery to buy, to enter when things are down. And that's just like it is in real estate. When other people are on the sidelines taking the wait and see approach, that's your opportunity to jump in right there. Okay. Laura, you've got great questions. Okay, what is the price of a detached no HOA in Brookhaven? Oh man. If you look in the Cross Keys High School section of Brookhaven, you're going to get the best value for your money there, but you're still going to wind up paying probably $550 at least for a house over there. But focus on Cross Keys High School district if you're going to be looking in Brookhaven and don't want an HOA. All right, let me just see if there's anything else. Okay. Great questions. Okay, Maria, Decatur 2-bedroom house, no HOA, how much? Oh, okay, so if you're wanting to find an affordable home in Decatur, not in an HOA, you need to be looking on the east side of Decatur. Okay. So, like, I want you to be looking over towards Belvedere Park, that area of Decatur. And you could probably get in over there for maybe 325,000, maybe 350,000. That's going to be your best deal. You're welcome. All right, what else? What other questions? We have about 10 more minutes. For those of you guys who have watched some of my YouTube videos, you've heard me say this, but I do this to teach people. I'd love to get some feedback from you. What are you liking about them? What are you not liking about them? Be nice. Be gentle. And then what areas do you want us to cover on our future YouTube videos? Already, I'm feeling like we need to cover Brookhaven. We need to cover Decatur. Ahmad, we need to do a video on where to find no HOAs. I think that'd be a good idea. I think we need to do one on property taxes. What are some other videos that you guys want us to do that would help you with your move? And then what feedback do you have for me? I'm going to take a much needed sip of coffee. Great, Diana. I love that. I don't know about that, Ron, but thank you. We're going to find you a home. Are there any other areas? You know, I've been in Dunwoody a lot lately. I think that we need to do a video on Dunwoody. Ahmad. All right. So Dunwoody, no HOAs. Okay. All right. Well, if you do think of anything, you guys know how to reach out to me, right? So I'll put in, actually, we'll put in the chat my email address. Okay, schools. We can do another one on schools. Go ahead and click the link in the chat box to send me a message directly. You can hop on my calendar. You can send me a message. Let me know what videos you want. How can I help you guys? One more question. Is there any advantage to buying in a gated community in Forsyth or Cobb? I mean, yeah, my people who want to live in gated communities are typically people who maybe you're working out of town a good bit and you want the security and safety of a gated community. I will say this. We are a relatively safe area. So I don't really feel, I've never felt the need to live in a gated community. But the advantage would be obviously the privacy that it gives you. And if you travel a lot, you've got a gate attendant who is constantly monitoring who's coming in and out of the neighborhood. I mean, that's a huge asset right there. And you've got more gated community options in Forsyth than you do in Cobb. So you might want to focus more on Forsyth County. Registration time for school. Yes. Yeah, that's great. I talked about that in one of my videos. You have to declare residency before you can register. And you have to at least, in order to do that, you have to at least have a purchase and sale agreement where you're under contract. But in many counties, you actually have to be closed. Like you have to close on your new property to register. So go back and maybe watch that video too. But yes, I can get you information on that specifically. Okay, guys. Well, that's it. Thanks for jumping on and thanks for your great questions. I love doing what I do. I love educating you guys. Again, if there's any specific things you want to chat about, jump on my calendar, my Calendly link, and I look forward to another year's worth of videos and bringing you guys what I see, what you guys need to know about, what you didn't even know you need to know about. And you know me, you're always going to get the best of the areas and my honest opinion of the worst of the areas as well, because every area comes with a pro and con. Gated communities has HOA but safety. Yes, you're right, Lori. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your weekend. The rain has cleared out in Atlanta. I'm going to go show some homes, and I'm excited to see you guys on the next YouTube Live. Thanks so much. More house videos without HOA. You got it, Maria. It's coming. I promise. That's my #1 video idea from today. All right, guys. Bye.